We got a question from Noah. This particular question from Noah seems to have a long arc to it. I wanted to get your thoughts on rounded back training, especially Jefferson curls and back extensions and hyperextensions. Not sure if the terms are interchangeable. What? Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean by them. There's the other variation called reverse hypers, and that's when the load's on the feet. You do rounded back hypers. Yeah, Dick Notmeyer, when he was coaching me, I had to stay in that Olympic lift position, and I got up, and I'm not bragging here, but I used the two big blue plates one time. The blue plates were 102.5 pounds, which would be 47 kilos each. And I did sets with those. And Dick used to, put them on my back because the way we had it set up in our gym, I later figured out a way around it, but the hyperextension rack was old school, so your legs were, not very high off. So your legs were stuck into, maybe, maybe waist height. No, even shorter. And so if you had 45s on the barbell, when you came down, the plates would hit the ground. And that's not something you want to do with a weight here on your neck, suspended by your feet with pads, underneath your thighs. I later figured out that I could use 25s, and I would slide on all these 25. It looked terrible, but the exercise worked. And actually, I didn't need a spotter with that because I would do this bizarre lat pull down to get the weight set, and then go. Have you ever used or prescribed them in training? They feel like the only exercises that actually train your lower back through a full range of motion and not just isometrically holding the lower back straight throughout various hip hinges. Yeah, if you get a chance, Brett Contreras has a great book called The Glute Lab. Now, I always make the joke with this book that you don't really read the book, you just carry it and you get your workouts because the book is massive. Brett does a really fine job explaining all the movements in this book, and he shows the whys and wherefores of everything. If you don't know Brett, his Instagram channel is excellent, and Brett Contreras, he's also known as the Glute Guy. I'm sure you can find it, and then he's very good about sharing the research for things, and he has a lot of variations for the different hyperextensions. If you do recommend them, what protocols can be applied to them? Easy strength parameters, hypertrophy sets of 10. Is it something else? I like the higher reps on the hyperextensions. I'll tell you why, because that's what Dick Notmeyer told me. I mean, that's not the most scientific or well-reasoned response I had, but sometimes a person's experience just screams it. And when I was doing sets of 10 in the hypers, I always felt good. I find it to be a very revitalizing, refreshing thing for me to do. And I agree with you about this. Now, when you say round back, I'm wondering if actually you and I are saying the same thing. But, sometimes words get in the way. So I'm wondering, Noah, if we were at the same facility training, maybe this is how I hyper. Maybe that is how I do the hyperextension. I'm thinking that maybe I always did it like that, but I could be like that. I wouldn't be surprised. So, yeah, maybe we're saying the same thing. So look up Brett Contreras, see what he recommends, and then whatever he says, I agree. The only thing I would say, I think this is a high rep exercise. The same way I think that the hip thrust is a 20 to 25 rep exercise. Clamshells are a 10 to 15 rep exercise. Ab wheels are 2 sets of 5 or maybe sets of 10, 1 set of 10. There's certain natural numbers that flow together with certain movements. And my take on this is it would be the 10s. Okay? Great question. Thank you. Very unusual question. I haven't seen a specific hyperextension exercise question. I don't know, maybe ever. So good. Thank you.